What's up, everybody, and welcome back to CountryCast. Today, we're going to be talking about some legal trouble that the country group formerly known as Lady Antebellum, now known as Lady A, has found themselves in. I mean, can't we all agree that we pretty much saw this coming anyways? Well, stick around so we can get into that story next. And of course, just real quick before we get started, remember to head on over to our social accounts, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to give us a like and a follow. Our Facebook is CountryCast, our Instagram is CountryCast News, and our Twitter is @CountryCast News. If you're new here or if you've slid by the YouTube show before and just haven't had an opportunity to hit that subscribe button down below, please go ahead and do so. Don't forget to turn on those notifications as well so you never miss out on any breaking updates on your favorite country artist and all the news coming right out of Music City. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this real juicy story, this long story that has just been played out for quite some time. But again, it's not really a shock to a lot of folks out there that we are even in this position. Now, for the purpose of this video, I am probably going to be referring to the country group Lady A as Lady Antebellum, just so there is no further confusion, because the other party involved, obviously, in these negotiations is a blues singer who also uses the moniker Lady A. Now, for a quick recap, going all the way back to June of this year, what sort of kicked all of this off in the first place. The country group Lady A released a statement explaining their reasoning as to why they were dropping the name Antebellum from their name. Here is that statement that was released to social media. It reads, "Dear fans, as a band we have strived for our music to be a refuge, inclusive of all. We've watched and listened more than ever these last few weeks, and our hearts have been stirred with conviction, our eyes open wide to the injustices, inequality, and biases black women and men have always faced and continue to face every day. Now blind spots we didn't even know existed have been revealed. After much personal reflection, band discussion, prayer, and many honest conversations with some of our closest black friends and colleagues, we have decided to drop the word antebellum from our name and move forward as Lady A, the nickname our fans gave us almost from the start. When we set out together almost 14 years ago, we named our band after the Southern Antebellum style home where we took our first photos. As musicians, it reminded us of all the music born in the South that influenced us: Southern rock, blues, R&B, gospel, and of course country. But we are regretful and embarrassed to say that we did not take into account the associations that weighed down this word, referring to the period of history before the Civil War, which includes slavery. We are deeply sorry for the hurt this has caused and for anyone who has felt unsafe, unseen, or unvalued. Causing pain was never our hearts' intention, but it doesn't change the fact that indeed it did just that. So today we speak up and make a change. We hope you will dig in and join us. We understand that many of you may ask the question, why have you not made this change until now? The answer is that we can make no excuse for our lateness to this realization. What we can do is acknowledge it, turn from it, and take action. We feel like we have been awakened, but this is just one step. There are countless more that need to be taken. We want to do better. We are committed to examining our individual and collective impact and making the necessary changes to practice anti-racism. We will continue to educate ourselves, have hard conversations, and search the parts of our hearts that need pruning. To grow into better humans, better neighbors, our next outward step will be a donation to the Equal Justice Initiative through Lady Aid. Our prayer is that if we lead by example with humility, love, empathy, and action, we can be better allies to those suffering from spoken and unspoken injustices, while influencing our children and generations to come. Signed, Love, Lady A, Hillary, Charles, and Dave. Now, of course, after the country group learned of this blues singer, they turned back to social media where they shared they were in talks, negotiations with Anita White about keeping the name Lady A. This is what the country group had to say about those negotiations. They said, "Today we connected privately with the artist Lady A. Transparent, honest, and authentic conversations were had. We are excited to share we are moving forward with positive solutions and common ground. The hurt is turning into hope. More to come. Now, as you can see, the picture that was shared by the country group, everyone does seem to be pretty happy. There are some smiles there, but they were met with opposition again after those talks kind of collapsed. Anita White, according to an interview she did with Rolling Stone magazine, she revealed her thoughts on the negotiations. This is what the blues singer had to say to Rolling Stone. She said, "They want to change the narrative by minimizing my voice, by belittling me, and by not telling the entire truth. I don't think of myself as a victim, but I've worked too long and too hard to just walk away and say I'll share the name with them. They want to appropriate something I used for decades. Just because I don't have 40 million fans or $40 million, that should not matter." Later on in the interview, she continued and said, "When they talked about how talks broke down, they never talked outside of trying to get me to do what they wanted me to do, which is coexist. And that's something I never wanted. I stand by that. I've said it so many times." Now, for all of you Lady Antebellum, Lady A fans, or just country music fans in general, probably already know that Lady Antebellum was referred to as Lady A when they kind of first hit the music scene and ever since. So it's not unusual to hear Lady A when you think of Lady Antebellum, right? Well, Anita White, like she said in that interview to Rolling Stone, has been using that name for decades. And when talks broke down between the two parties, Lady Antebellum, Lady A, turned to the courts where they filed a lawsuit against the blues singer. Now, according to a recent report by People magazine, it reveals that the lawsuit the country group filed, they're not asking for any money from the blues singer, but they are stating that they had trademarked that moniker back in 2010 for the purpose of the band using it for streaming and also live music. And a little bit later on, they went back and applied for another trademark to be able to use it with clothing. And they were not met with any opposition by a person or an entity. So it appears that that would be the band's grounds for their argument there. But again, remember, Anita White has been in the music scene for some time. It's not like she is brand new. And she even said herself that she has been using the name for decades. And it's very interesting that in that interview, she mentioned a dollar amount, $40 million and 40 million fans. So it makes you kind of wonder what the country group and Anita White actually talked about in that meeting. But the blues singer Lady A is not backing down. She has turned to a legal team now as well, and she has filed a countersuit against the country group out of the Seattle courts, according to the Seattle Times, who obtained these documents. The lawsuit by Anita White was filed this Tuesday, and you can see the document here. She is suing the country group for trademark infringement, common law trademark infringement, and unfair competition. As you see on the left here, she is the plaintiff versus Lady A Entertainment LLC, and then Charles Kelly, David Haywood, and Hillary Scott are listed as the defendants. Now, something to notate here on this document, it says jury demand. So this can get real interesting on how this is going to play out, because obviously you guys out there know that a jury, you're judged by members of your community, by your peers, and this is just a nasty situation that the country group has found themselves in. You know, they shared all this stuff. They talked about all the changes they were going to make, how they were going to, you know, try to be better. And now we found ourselves in a legal battle between these two parties over a moniker right now. So this is going to be very interesting, again, to see how this plays out, especially with that jury demand by Anita White. But if Lady Antebellum, Lady A, never intended on making waves during all this, I can say that's not what happened. Waves have definitely been created, and we could possibly see Lady A, Lady Antebellum, come back with a whole new name again, because this may not play out in their favor. Guys, I'm really interested to hear what you have to say about this, so go ahead and head down to the comment section below and let us know how you feel, or anything you have to say regarding this nasty issue that Lady Antebellum is deep. I mean, they are deep in this, folks. That will be it for today's video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Turn those notifications on for breaking updates on your favorite country artist and all the news coming right out of Music City. Y'all stay country.